So far on our journey through the Logoverse, I've stuck to movie studio emblems, but today I'm changing the channel. This is the story of the most famous bird in television history. No, the other one.
The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
If you enjoy this trip into the Logoverse, please remember to hit the like button. If you haven't already, please also consider subscribing. Every click helps the channel grow. Thanks so much. The National Broadcasting Company launched in 1926 as a radio network. Its original logo reflected the medium, a microphone bursting with electric bolts, superimposed over an outline of the United States. While it might seem quaint today, the use of electricity in the emblem clearly underscored just how modern and technological a radio network seemed in the 1920s. In 1931, NBC began using a square logo. The letters NBC were arranged diagonally inside the square, with zaps of electricity shooting from the B. This emblem carried over to their brand new TV network in 1941. 1943 saw the introduction of a more eye-catching design, a splashy emblem that featured red lightning bolts surrounding a black and white microphone. This design echoed the branding of NBC's parent company, RCA, and its movie-making sibling, RKO Pictures. Look closely. The bolts are different. The ones on the left symbolized NBC's radio network, while those on the right represented their new television branch. An early network ID showed this logo, accompanied by a booming proclamation.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Over the next 13 years, NBC continued experimenting. In 1953, they debuted a logo with a stylized xylophone and mallet, referencing those three famous notes. But the network soon stumbled upon an image that would forever define their visual identity. RCA was producing a groundbreaking new appliance, color TV sets. NBC began a campaign to push color programming, both to innovate the medium, as well as to help RCA sell more TVs. And what better way to promote color than with the vivid, multi-hued plumage of a peacock? Created by graphic designer John J. Graham, the original peacock was a vibrant, 11-feathered splash of color. Its official on-screen debut came in May of 1956. Notice the elaborate feather tips shaped like teardrops, a feature unique to these early designs. You might be surprised to learn the peacock was not the network's main emblem. Instead, it shared that responsibility with the NBC snake, nicknamed for the squiggly, serpent-like combination of the three network letters. This emblem appeared at the end of every telecast, while the animated peacock appeared only before color programming. 1962 brought us the Laramie Peacock, named after the Western TV series Laramie, where it debuted. This version featured swirling bursts of color, a serene woodwind tune, and the familiar In Living Color tagline, voiced by Mel Brandt. It became the calling card for NBC's biggest programming, such as The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, and broadcasts of The Wizard of Oz. It stuck around with a few musical tweaks until 1975, though it has reappeared a couple times since, like The Tonight Show with Conan O'Brien in 2009, and during 2024's broadcast of the Christmas classic Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Back in 1975, NBC attempted to modernize their primary logo. Nicknamed the Big N, this version consisted of two trapezoids in red and blue, forming an abstract N. In many ways, This ultra-clean design reminds me of the Saul Bass logo from Warner Brothers, which was a contemporary of the Big N. Not everyone was thrilled with NBC's new emblem, specifically Nebraska ETV. Their logo looked almost identical, and they had it first. A trademark infringement lawsuit soon followed, which NBC settled for a significant sum. Thanks to this legal dispute, the Big N quietly disappeared. While the Peacock had always been a mascot of sorts, 1979 marked the true start of the icon's foray as NBC's official logo. Internal research showed that audiences strongly associated the colorful bird with the network, yet still NBC hedged their bets. This new hybrid symbol combined an outline of the N with a somewhat sleeker peacock. Known as the Proud N, this version kept all 11 feathers, mirrored on either side. But those teardrop-shaped tips were eliminated, as were the peacock's feet. The Proud N ushered in more than a few headaches. This design was too busy to read clearly on television screens, too expensive to print with all of that color, and made little sense by emphasizing only the letter N instead of the full NBC. Despite the expense involved, NBC ultimately decided to abandon the N outline, but keep the peacock, which had become so synonymous with the network. Just 6 feathers now remained, each color representing a division of the network: yellow for news, orange for sports, red for entertainment, blue for the network as a whole, purple for the NBC-owned television stations, and green for their production company. NBC chose these 6 because they represent the primary and secondary colors in the RYB color model. The peacock's body was also reimagined, becoming a stylized shape created from the white negative space, essentially an upside-down feather. The bird's head was turned to face the right instead of the left, signifying a look towards the future. Despite finalizing this redesign, NBC didn't immediately launch the new logo. At the time, the network was struggling, ranked 3rd behind ABC and CBS. A full rebrand, changing signs, vehicles, and marketing materials, would have been far too costly. Instead, NBC waited until 1986, 7 years later, when they were on more stable financial ground, to officially roll out the new emblem. From this point on, NBC embraced its nickname as the Peacock Network. Throughout the 90s and 2000s, NBC kept the core design unchanged, but gave it small touch-ups. The peacock was often paired with the network name in metallic or white typefaces. Following the rise of high-definition broadcasting in the mid-2000s, the peacock was digitally polished for HD screens. Sharper lines, brighter colors, and crisper detail. NBC debuted its streaming platform in 2020, choosing a very appropriate name. The platform introduced its own logo, a simple text-based design featuring the word peacock in bold letters, with the P subtly evoking the shape of the beak from the NBC logo. A colorful row of dots at the end matched the network's signature peacock colors, helping the two brands stay visually connected while remaining distinct. 2 years later, NBC began rolling out its most up-to-date version of the peacock emblem. The revised design featured slightly brighter colors to mirror the look of the Peacock streaming service, more balanced white space between the feathers, and a larger beak. Over the years, NBC has occasionally put a fun twist on the iconic logo. In 1967, a cartoon penguin briefly replaced the peacock for the television debut of A Hard Day's Night, starring the Beatles. A year later, the sneezing peacock appeared ahead of an episode of Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. And during the holidays, NBC will often roll out a festive Christmas peacock, with the feathers colored red and green to celebrate the season. In 1979, none other than Johnny Carson swapped the peacock for a turkey buzzard, a joke about the network's terrible ratings at the time. With this gag, Carson took a literal shot at NBC. Late Night with Conan O'Brien turned the logo into a recurring character named Polly the Peacock, who would heap over-the-top praise on NBC programming while ruthlessly criticizing the competition.
Let's get right into it, shall we? Tell us about the exciting programming that NBC has lined up for sweeps. What's going on?
It's must-see TV! And you better make sure you only watch NBC, because watching the other networks gives you polio!
What's amazing about the story of the NBC Peacock is its slow but steady ascent. For 3 decades, the emblem played a supporting role only, beginning first as a promotional tool, then becoming a beloved mascot, before finally transforming into the 6-feathered icon that flies alone as NBC's defining logo. It just goes to show that sometimes, the most powerful symbols are the ones that patiently earn their wings. I'm Michael Cahill. Thanks so much for watching. And I'd also like to thank everyone who has subscribed to the channel over these last few years. Your supportive and encouraging comments have meant the world to me. Stay tuned. There are many more trips into the Logoverse ahead. Until next time.